Okay, so we got LeBron O'Neal, pretty much the next coming of God. He will be the best player to ever play in the NBA. Nah, RJ's better. This isn't really going to be a stutter bust on him, even though he does have some flaws, and I could do a video on him. I'm just basically describing why I feel he is better than Zion Williamson, and I'm going to go right into the stats. You might say, oh, Zion's not that much worse than RJ at shooting. He only has a 4% lower three-point percentage. But if you really look at it, Zion's form is so bad, his jumper's broken. RJ's isn't, and RJ has the potential to make threes whenever he wants to, and that makes him a better player. And then again, you might say, Zion has all the talent in the world, but in today's NBA, skill is better than talent. Just look at Stephen Curry versus a Russell Westbrook. We all know who's better there. Let's look at some examples in the recent drafts. You got Andrew Wiggins, who was the most athletic guy in the draft. And then you got Joel Embiid, who was the most skilled. Who's better? Obviously, it's Joel Embiid. And it's not always about shooting and stuff. It's also about passing, dribbling. And RJ's better at those. He's just more skilled in general. You don't buy that skill wins. Let's just look at some more. You got Cat versus Porzingis. Cat is more talented than Porzingis. But I would argue that Porzingis is a better player in today's NBA, but you could argue otherwise. But it is in general a flawed argument because Cat is also skilled, but here are some more convincing, better arguments against talent versus skill. Markelle Fultz, more talented, deemed as the next James Harden, going to be an insane player in the league, yet he is not. Versus Jason Tatum, the more skilled player who has turned out in the league as a much better player, and skill will, in this situation, really outweighs talent, even though they're both insanely athletic. And here for the last one, you got DeAndre Ayton, the more talented player who has all the talent in the world, great size, great athleticism, he's just great in general. And then you got the not as athletic, but way more skilled Luka Doncic. And do you see how good he's doing this year? Skill will always outweigh talent. And now let's tie this back into RJ versus Zion. RJ has gotten more talent than most players in college basketball. But just because he doesn't have as much talent as Zion, he's not as good as Zion. He's a much better passer than Zion, a much better raw scorer than Zion, a much better playmaker than Zion, a much better shooter than Zion. He's just not as athletic and not as good at defense, and he's still great on defense. So if you take anything away from this video, skill will always be better than talent in the NBA. See you guys later, and peace.
It's like she said it's 1:30 a.m. Tell me what you call for. I just need somebody real to tell me what it's all for. You know what you stand for, you know what you fall for. Said you don't believe in me, well that's your song called for. These things take time, you just gotta trust me. You got reason to doubt everybody.